Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into my channel. Today is Sunday and it is time for the ABC board book. Today we are going to work on the letter F. We did E last week and this turned out really nice. I don't know if you can see all the crackles on the bunny, but it looks really good. I am very pleased with that. Make the glasses are completely crackled, and yeah. So today is for the letter F. I'm just feeling the little embellishments. So let me put this aside and keep the page, and you can see that I have some fabric right in front of me, and it is not just any fabric. I'm just going to put this over here. It is Tim Holtz's palette fabric in pink. So I have the maps, tickets, this postage stamps, letters. I believe this is called letters. Let me just see, it says it on the side. Eclectic elements, it does not. I don't have the piece that says what it's called. So I'm going to think that it is letters. Then I have the labels or ephemera right there. Does it say it on here what this is called? Nope. And I have the little piece of flowers. Now the other thing that I have is corresponding pages from the Cara Brandon palette kit, and this is the pink one. So this was inspired by the Tim Holtz fabric. So let me show you. This matches together. And then we have the tickets, and the colors are very similar, which is lovely. Then we have the postage stamps. Again, the colors are similar. Letters, the colors are similar, the design isn't, but the colors are similar. The ephemera piece and maps. Does it say something on here? Pink map. It says it right here, pink map. And then I also printed off the game pieces, but I don't have the fabric to go with this. So what I am going to do with all this fun paper and fabric, I'm going to put it aside for now, is I'm going to turn it into a flip-flop folio. Look at me go. I am using all the F's. As long as I'm not using the F-bombs. So I kind of like started this. I am using a piece of music paper. I have another one here, and I'll show you how I did this part. I just love the music paper. I think you can use book page, but this was big enough to actually be useful, so that's why I like using the music paper. So you just fold it in half and then take a little piece, and I'm going to fold this like this. The other thing that I want to use is my sewing machine. So I'll do the same for the other one as well. Which page do I like better? I think I like the more delicate one a little better. There we go. Let's use some glue. Whoops. there. There we go. Okay. And I'm just going to use the paper, so I'm just going to pull all the paper pieces back out. I'm not sure if I want to use the game pieces. I know I want to use this one at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is grab a pencil. Grab a pencil, and I'm just going to lay this down just on the inside, see? And then right there, I'm just going to make little marks. There, and then I want that. I'm just going to cut these pieces and then keep them in the spot where they're coming from so that I know where to go. And my cutter is once again being really nice to me and cutting with a lot of mess. But that's okay, it gives me a really nice edge actually. I'm going to keep the little leftovers. So this is going to go right in here. And I need something for the back as well. And that might also be a pocket. So I'm going to take the maps and do something very similar. Just lay this out how I want it, right there. Take the pencil and cut or draw a little line where I want the cuts to be. Why can't I see it here? It's right there. So we're going to cut this piece there. And right over here. So I'm keeping all the scraps for the second one. So this is going to go just like that. Then when I flip it up, I want to keep the music paper because I love the music paper. So the inside is going to stay, I think it's going to stay like that. And then I need a piece for the top. Let's use the tickets. Why not use the tickets, right? So I'm laying it straight again and just making little lines, making little markings where I want my pieces to be cut. goes there, and this goes on here. So now we have the maps on the back, the flowers on the front, the tickets, and music paper. Then I want to cut some pockets out of, do I want to cut it out of this, or do I want to make pockets with, no, I want to cut it out of this and then decorate it with the fabric. I am thinking out loud. So I'm going to make a large pocket on here. Right there. I don't know if I can show you how I do the sewing on here, mostly because I think that is complicated. There's the mark. So we go like, no, we go like this. Let me put a piece on the back showing which way this is going to go, and I'm also right away going to cut a little notch in there so that I can see that that is the way that the pocket is going to go. There. So this is going to go like this. However, this is also going to be a pocket. So I want this to be in the same, roughly the same spot. So I'm lining this up how I want this to lay, and then I'm just going to try and cut this to match. Because that way when we put it down, they are in the same line. There. And then I want to put a little strip right along here. Do I want to use the letters? Yes, I want to use this piece. Oh. Yes, I want to use this little piece here. I had to think about that for a moment. And I am just going to cut it so that it will come out of here, but it's not going to be destroying the whole page. There we go. So this can go right there. That's actually the perfect size. So this is how this piece is going to look. Just like that. Then when we flip it over, there is the music paper. I want to make a pocket inside the music paper from the top down. And I think I want to use one of these. I think I want to use the light one right here. cut this right off. Like this. Oh, whoops, whoops. Everything is falling down now. So I want this to be small enough to be a pocket from the top down, and I want to have this be that size. So that size makes total sense to you, right? It's hard when you're not taking measurements. I am just measuring as I'm going, because it is impossible for me to say, okay, this is going to be this big and this is going to be this big, because I don't know how big your piece is. So I want to go a little bit lower, and I want to keep that 3. So I need a notch at the top here. Right there. That's really cute. I like that you can still see all the music paper. And then I think I am going to cut a little piece of this. I want that darker piece, I think. Just for fun. So I'm going to go, I'm going to go over this. I don't want to cut it down. This piece is just a little bit too big, but that's okay. I just want to go over that. When I sew this down, you will have like a bigger pocket and then a smaller pocket. It's all good. So this goes when you fold this up. I need to pick up the piece that I dropped. This goes here. This goes here. This is also going to be a pocket, and it is going to be a pocket going this way. And let me see where the center is. So roughly about there. That's roughly the center. Ooh, pretty good. Eyeballing to the next level. So this is going to be a pocket going this way. Pocket here. And then I think I want to put 2 pockets right here. And I think, yeah, so it's going to be like this, like this, like that, and then I want to have, let me just flip this back over. I want those little pieces, little pockets for right there. Do I want to use these? No, I want to use You know what? I want to make a tuck. What do I want to do? I want to make a pocket and a tuck, I think. So I'm going to cut this piece right here. Right there, so a little tuck. And then, actually I can make that, I'll probably make that a bigger tuck or a double tuck. Oh lordy, what do I want to do? I think I will use these pieces, but I think I want a strip right here as a tuck on the side. And look at this beautiful little piece right here. That is what I want to use. Will this be big enough? No, of course not. So I just wasted a piece of paper. Well, darn it. I want to go. Let's just cut this piece right here. Sheesh. And yes, it is a digital. I can reprint it. But it just annoys me when I don't even look at it to make sure that I have it the right size. This, however, is the right size. But maybe I can still use this as well and put it right there, and or I can probably put it right there. I don't know. I am sitting here kind of talking to myself. Okay, let's go like this. And then we'll put, there. We'll put this here, and I'm going to just sew this down. And I want to use some of the tickets to make the little pockets to go on here. So if I just cut a strip that will be that big, because I can make some double pockets on here. This way. So I want, yeah, roughly about here. And then I'm just going to lay this together to measure, and that way I know for sure they're going to be the same size. And I'm going to cut a notch in there, and I'm putting them to keeping them together so that the notches are in the same spot. So when I glue them down, they will be in the same spot or lined up nicely. See, like that. So that is good. And then I can put a little strip right here. And I need another piece like that. And this is being used already, isn't it? Maybe not. No. Okay, let's use this piece. It is the same width. So let's just cut it to be the same. Oh my goodness, you guys, it is hot in here. Okay, so I can do that like that, and it can go right there. I don't know if I want to make two at the same time. I think I just want to make one. I'm only going to use one, so. And this is all scrap paper. This needs to be used. I have cut all my pieces now. And now I'm going to take some of the fabrics, and I'm just going to cut little strips like that so that I'm not wasting a ton of the fabric, because I want to use a lot of this for book covers and things like that, so I don't want to waste too much of it. Which reminds me, I am working on something off camera. Two somethings actually. I have a little golden book that I'm working on. Isn't it cute? So I've taken the signatures out, and I need to sew around that. So while I have the sewing machine out, we'll also be doing that. And then I did the inside, I reinforced it, put a new spine on it, added some fabric to the spine, and I put some book corners on. Isn't it lovely? So that is going to be a journal, and it is probably going to go into my shop once it is done. And this is an old book. This is the book that I'm using the rag paper pages out of, that you see me use. It is that Arthur Conan Doyle book. So I wanted to use the cover because it is like the perfect size, and it was actually in really good shape. So I covered it with upholstery fabric, and this is velvety, so it is just beautiful. I need to put something on the inside, and I need to do something with the spine still. So yeah, that's what I'm working on off camera. Let me continue cutting the scrap or the pieces of fabric for our pockets and the decorating. And I'm going to cut a little piece like this and just tear it. This fabric is wonderful for tearing. It gives you a great rough edge. I really like that. I will do the same probably for this one. Tearing cotton prefers to be torn. It just is, you get a beautiful straight edge when you do that. As opposed to when you are cutting. Like, I'll show you what the difference is. So this is the rough edge from cutting, and this is the rough edge when you tear it. So you get like a way nicer torn edge than that. And then I can put this away. I need the postage stamps. And it is lovely to know for sure that you're getting a straight line. So these fabrics are, oh, I like using things that don't cost a lot of money. These are expensive. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The Tim Holtz fabrics are expensive. So I just use them sparingly. I make sure that I know what I'm going to make when I grab it. And I don't buy a lot of it. I buy like 0.3 of a meter, which is really not an awful lot. Do I want to use this, or do I maybe have some scraps? Well, there we go. There, we have the fabrics cut. And now I am going to go off camera. I'm going to sew all of this around, and then I'll be back to assemble everything. Before I start sewing, I want to ink around everything. And I think I want to use tea dye to ink. And the reason that I want to use tea dye is because it is softer than the vintage photo, and because this is pink, I don't want the vintage photo color. I don't want the brown color against it. I want that little bit more soft. That little bit more softness. And as long as I've inked around everything and done all the corner rounding and all that, I am in a pretty good shape to, like, I could really just assemble it just like this, but I want to use that fabric because we are working with the letter F. This goes like this. This goes like that. So you get the drift. I'm just inking around everything. Okay, so I have finished sewing and doing stuff. So I am going to start with the top pocket, and we'll just go through it bit by bit. So I have sewn a ruffle around it, and of course I messed up and sewed through the back piece a little bit because I had it open like that. So it's not the end of the world, like it's just on the fold, but yeah, it's not the neatest. I am not the neatest sewer, but you know what? This is a junk journal, and I am not that concerned. So I'm going to use my 3-in-1 glue, and I am going to glue down the biggest pocket right here. And then we get that little bit of the postage stamp fabric popping out with a bit of a ruffle. So I'm just going right along the edges. There, and this is going to be a side pocket. So I'm going to line this up right here and then just press it down. should work. We'll find out. I'm not sure if it's very practical. We'll find that out too. This is not like, it's not supposed to be practical. This is more of a, this is fun to do kind of thing. So I've put no fabric on this piece, and I can just use my regular glue because I'm just gluing paper to paper. Right along the edges. It's pretty. It is. It's very pretty. It's just, you know, it's something different. And then this is going to be a little side tuck. So again, just the sides, and right here. And then that can go right at the edge here. There we go. So that's the first side done. I really like it. I like how everything works together. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna go to, I need to cut some of the threads off. So this is the inside top pocket. And I have sewn around the edges on this one. I'm just cutting all those extra threads off. There we go. So this is going to go right here. So all I do is I will glue. See, not the neatest sewer. Can you see how crooked that is? There, we'll put it right here. And I can slide it up just a little bit. Am I going to use this? I doubt it. I don't know what I would use it for. This is just, I just wanted to do something very pretty for in this altered book. So this one I can just glue right along the edges. I have sewn just a piece of fabric to the bottom of the paper. And this one is, this piece of paper is a little bigger than the pocket that is underneath it, which is perfect because then it looks like this is just holding it down a little bit. I can probably go a little higher so that the fabric doesn't scrunch up. There we go. Do it like that. And the fabric is now also kind of tacked down with the glue that was already there, which is perfect. It's not going to move too much then. There. Very good. I like that a lot. Let's see, it's just loose right there. Then we have the inside piece, and it's right here. That is not the right scissors. Just cutting excess paper thread off, and this is going to go right here. Oh my goodness. Okay, good. Doesn't always want to come out right away. And yes, I'm just using this glue because it is the right thickness right now. The other ones are too thin and runny because I diluted it with water a little while ago, and now it's just so runny and that makes it tough to use. So I'm just using the big bottle. And you can see the zigzag stitch around it. And then this also goes here, and I made a pretty little ruffle with the little flower fabric. I'm not sure if I should put, just going to put the glue upside down for a minute. I'm not sure if I should put a little strip of paper along the edge there to keep it closed down, or to reinforce that. Just have a little strip of paper. I'm just going to use my glue stick. And just gluing that over the stitching, because apparently I'd set it really, really small, and I just don't want to wreck it. There. And cut some of the excess thread. There we go. And then we just need to glue around the edges. Right there. Put it right there. It can stick out a little bit. It's okay. I want that actually. Under the skirt to make sure that I'm in the right spot. There we go. So when you close it up, it's not totally flat, but it's very pretty how this is a little ruffly. I did not glue that down very well, so I'm just sew it down very well. So I'm just putting a little glue in there and holding it down, and hopefully that will stick. There we go. Perfect. Then we're going to turn it over, and we're going to put the back pieces on. Oh, I put a little glue stick on the back piece, and then I sewed around it to attach it to the back. So now I have these two pockets. And they can go, one can go there, and one can go right there at the bottom. Let's do that. Right about here, and it is straight. There we go. And then I'm going to use this one. So the idea was from Cara Brandon. She made a similar project with the flip-flops and the pockets and the fabric. But I only watched like a little piece of the video, so I wasn't going to copy her completely, because I really don't want to do that. I want to like take my inspiration from the project, but then I kind of want to do my own thing, and I do this quite often, where I watch a video about a little bit in, see how I would build it, and then I just take off on my own and do my own thing. So I think I want to put this right here as a little tuck. So in this one, I just put a little fabric right in the center, a little zigzag stitch around it, and look how cute that came out. There, all this excess thread. I used to do a lot of sewing. I don't really do it anymore. Like, well, I do in the journals, but I don't use it for sewing anymore. My sewing machine is actually quite happy with that. It likes to do work on paper better than it ever did on fabric. So that's a win in my book. So this can go right about here to make sure that it is level. And there we go. So we have the top piece. Let me find something that we can use. Okay, so pocket, pocket, pocket. We open it up. There's a pocket. And there's a pocket. Right here, it's a large pocket. And this is a very large one. And then on the back here, we have pocket, 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 and pocket. So there we go. That is the whole project. I just noticed that I never inked around the music paper. So I'm just going to do that while I am thanking you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I tried to make it as simple as I could, and hopefully you got inspired by it as well, just like I did when I watched Kara Brandon's video. I thought it was pretty cool, and I really like using the Tim Holtz fabrics in conjunction with the pink palette. It just makes everything look so much cooler. Just inking around these pieces right here. Okay, so I'm going to put it, how am I going to put it on here? I think I can just paper clip this on, so I should be able to. How can I paper clip? I'm going to paper clip it. Actually, I'm not going to use a paper clip. I'm going to use a, whoops. I have 2 bins with all my hardware, so I always have to check for a moment where the pieces that I'm looking for are. I think I am just going to tack this in here and kind of centering it, and then I'm just tacking it right there. The lights just went out. Well, that was quite rude. The lights went out, and then I thought I was recording and it didn't record. So all I did was I clipped the edge of the fabric, like when I go under the ruffle, I clipped this in there with a bulldog clip. There we go. And I can put some dangles on here, so I'll think about what I want to put there, and I can do that. But meanwhile, this is what the project turned into. I will post some photos at the end, and I hope you really enjoyed watching this video. And if you made it all the way to here, please hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. And please let me know in the comments what you thought of this project. Did you like it? What can I do better? Besides the sewing, I know the sewing is terrible. But you know, it is still very cute. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday.